the Jeep's been having a lot of issues, you guys know that. So we're trying to get to the T-case. Well, we just pulled down the Next Venture Motorsports skids, and look at this. This is from King of the Hammers. There's a whole, like, that is insane.
What's up, Lite Brite Nation?
Good morning, Lite Brite Nation.
So, as most of you are aware, the stepchild here has been severely neglected for...
Well, it's been acting up, and I'm trying to lay the smack down on that redheaded stepchild.
Dude, so we've been having problems, but we've been having problems because we haven't really been giving it any attention or maintenance or anything.
Since like November, since
for a hot minute.
Ultra 4, King of the Hammers, getting ready.
We got distracted with Child's Play and Ultra 4 racing. Now, though, we have a shop. And not only do we have the space to work on our own vehicles for once.
We got a ton of tools.
We have tools and we have Chris.
Wait, he's not a tool. Oh, hey,
yeah,
you said a ton of tools and you pointed at him.
I mean,
185 pounds of tool right there.
We have tools and we have Chris to help us knock out maintenance that is long, long overdue. So today is all about the stepchild.
Is that my cue?
That's your cue.
That's your cue.
So basically, we are gonna spend the day tearing down and looking at the stepchild to figure out what all is wrong with it, because it is, like I said, it's in dire need of some attention.
I have something to say. So you know that the transmission, the transfer case, there's been conks, there's been tons of stuff. So that's what we have to find. We have to find out what's going on, and I really hope it's not an electrical issue because those
are
suck
the
so
worst.
Bad. But look how big that garage is.
This is gonna be awesome. Actually, though, it's gonna be awesome for them because while they're working on the Jeep, I'm gonna be in the house painting because it's also in dire need of more paint. So I'll let the boys do this one today.
So luckily, Mr. Chris here has equipment.
Some stuff.
You got some stuff here, bud. So it's gonna be a proper shop, sort of. We got. Oh, you got some equipment.
I got a shear.
Oh man.
Shear.
So you know what that means?
We're gonna be making stuff.
We're gonna be making stuff. We're gonna be working on stuff. We're gonna be working on some. Does some Lite Brite people? Does some of you need some stuff done? Y'all want to come to the Lite Brite compound and?
Remember that video you said, "Hey, are you for hire?" And I said, "No, because you guys are enough." Now I can work on everybody's stuff.
There you go. Check this out. I mean, guys, we're instantly set up. How lucky are we? Holy crap. So I know this has nothing to do with moving in or whatever, but I got Chris to work right away because the Jeep's been having a lot of issues. You guys know that. So we're trying to get to the T-case. Well, we just pulled down the Next Venture Motorsports skids, and look at this. This is from King of the Hammers. There's a whole, like, that is insane. This is absolutely crazy. That is half of Johnson Valley. Like, and I knew when I hit that mud, dude, I knew. And there's still crap everywhere. It's probably under the engine skid plate too. So now we're trying to figure out why the T-case is having issues, and we think there's a bad mount or something. Something's happening where it's going up. So anyway, we're on this as well as moving in. You can see all the boxes and everything. Trailer's empty. Good to go. Oh, I did break this cross member here as well. That is nice and broken. So we're gonna get to work on this, and I'll update you guys when we figure stuff out. Okay, so we found another issue under here. Right rear coil spring. That's where the coil spring's at. And if you look right there, well, that spring perch is not very happy. It is completely broken the weld. I don't even know what's holding it on. There must be a weld on the top of the frame that's barely holding on. So luckily Chris saw that. The other side is actually cracked. That's starting to go. So that will have to be welded back on. So stepchild has been used and abused, and we may have to retire her for a little bit while we work on stuff and check welds everywhere. We might just have to do a tear down on this poor Jeep. And yeah, there's quite a bit going on with her that we're gonna need to mess with. So we're gonna keep looking at things and see what we find. Okay, so there's a cross tube here that it gets welded to, and that whole tube is ripped. You can see it right there. Oh yeah, there you go. So that's completely torn. It's torn all the way up and over. So yeah, great. So guys, it turns out the Jeep is really needed some TLC right now. I didn't think, I mean, I wanted to go over it. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. There's been a clunk or two, and I did notice that the right rear shock was showing less shaft than the left rear shock, and I was like, oh, I'll get around to that. Now we know why, because the right rear spring perch is completely broken and cracked. The left rear is cracked. We got a strip bolt in the frame for the skids. I got a coolant leak, and the coolant bottle's cracked. We've got I think the transfer case, he was saying, Chris was underneath it. Chris was saying that the transfer case was actually clunking and making some noise. So I don't know. Hi, babe.
This is what happens when you go a very, very, very long time without basic maintenance on your Jeep. We always preach that you guys should nut and bolt and check your rig over every time you wheel it.
Well, not every time I wheel it, but I do that. I go over it, but
Okay, the cracked spring perches is something you should definitely have noticed if you're going over your rig, like you should. We were not.
She's right.
So, and that's our fault. It's our fault. It's all basic maintenance. You're supposed to catch this stuff before it gets this bad. And we've been very preoccupied with, obviously, well, started with King of the Hammers because we bought an Ultra 4 car, and that's when the neglect started. And then buying a house and everything else. And
we've been looking for a house for a long time, and it's been very stressful.
So, but it's our fault.
And now that we're here, and then we got the buggy, and we got a lot of stuff. So now, but at least we have somebody like Chris that knows everything about vehicles and can
help us.
He can really do all this.
Finally give the stepchild the love that she deserves.
So with everything wrong with the stepchild and us not having a lift or anything yet, luckily we have amazing friends here in Sand Hollow, which is why we moved down here to Southern Utah. We are at the I Hate Mud headquarters. Woody is going to allow us to use his lift and his tools to fix that right now. I mean, it's been used and abused. Come on, it's called the stepchild for a reason. So we beat it up a little bit too much, and now we have to take care of it. So we're going to show you how we're going to fix this and what all's wrong and what we're going to do. All right, so let's go over everything that we found so far that we need to fix. Thank you, Woody, for I Hate Mud headquarters again. I'm really glad we got a house here. I'm so happy. So I'm going to turn this around and let's go over what we got going on. And I guess we can ask Chris what he plans on doing.
He has no idea.
He's like,
Fix things.
So Chris, what are we doing?
Fixing everything.
But how? By fixing it?
With tools.
Okay, so what we found back here is that this guy's cracked. This cross member, it's a metal cross member.
Yeah, this guy is starting to crack right here.
That one's starting to crack right there.
Starting to crack, starting to pull up.
We showed you earlier that this one's already cracked. And what this is your spring sits here. Your spring sits on the axle, and then it has a bucket up here. Well, this bucket is no longer, give me that light right there. See, that bucket is no longer attached to the frame. So the bucket sits up here, and it's welded to the frame here, and it's welded to this cross member. And from enough abuse and enough cycle time, this happens. So we need to first pull the springs out. So right now we're gonna pull the track bar,
Pull the track bar.
pull the shocks, and then lower the axle down to try to get the springs out. So that's step one, and then we'll kind of walk you through what exactly we're gonna do from there. Okay, so we got the spring out. We just did the one side for right now. So it looks like possibly just the body. Yeah, no, there's a tiny little gap.
Little gap?
Yeah, but you see, so that's supposed to be flat. That is not flat. So it looks like there's one weld on the top up here that may have held for now, but probably what was happening is every time that happened, it probably pushed up into the body, and the body was stopped, was literally capturing that. That is pretty awesome. So our other plan right now to fix this is once we get it all back together, we're gonna take a piece of tubing and weld it right into here and run it across to the other side to reinforce it. And I'll show you what that looks like. I know you're gonna be like, Kevin, I don't treat my Jeep the way you treat your Jeep, and I don't have a Hemi or whatever. That doesn't matter. If you do wheel, that is a weak spot. No matter what, everything has a certain amount of just cycle time and so much stress that can be put on it. So yes, it'll happen faster to me. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen to you, especially if you wheel, you go and do Moab stuff, high traction, where you have to bump up things and you're getting everything to work. So hold on, how are we gonna get that back to where it came from?
Big pry bar. Big pry bar.
Or the other option was to literally weld on a pipe, just if we had to, and bring it back down, weld it right, weld on a leverage pipe. But let's pry bar it and see what happens. This is really hard to do without Brittany here while I'm working on stuff and trying to, so, big effing pry bar. So I would do it, but I got to film Chris doing things.
Oh my God.
All right, let's see how easy this thing moves. So if it moves easily, then you know it's weak. If it doesn't move easily, then how does it move?
I'm gonna guess it's pretty weak.
I mean,
We can easily pull
is the whole body moving too? What's the whole floor?
Well, you gotta flex against something.
Yeah, flex against something. Every force is a counter. Yeah, so we're gonna have to clean that off and then hold it down and give her a buzz.
All right, but don't we want to go past?
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We gotta clean it off first. The weld's
let's
probably
grind it.
holding it up. We're gonna have to grind all that out of there and
Yeah, so.
see what we're doing.
Oh, shove a chisel in it and then
Shove a
hold it
chisel
there,
in it,
yeah.
work it down.
And then we gotta clean all that up. All right, so we're gonna do some cleanup and then we'll get back to work here. That one at least is still in place, so we can just clean that one up and weld it. So that's good. All right, so Chris has been hard at work. We've got, he has it all ground down. Put a chisel up here to wedge in there to kind of bring that closer. That's, yeah, that's as close as we can get it. And I mean, you know, it is what it is. I can pull down it with the pry bar at the same time while if you want to do that. But that's a big fat weld up here. It looks like it's keeping it from.
Yeah, it's actually the last quarter inch is still there.
Yeah, it
The
is.
last piece is still there.
Yeah, so we'll burn it down and then we'll come around and maybe even give it a little juice on the inside, maybe.
Around the inside of all these too. I'm gonna try to get a bead in here. So I ground all this out.
Which won't well, that might not be necessary, especially once we put the bar in here.
Yeah.
That'll definitely help. So
it'll get us down for now though.
yeah. All right, so we got a pry bar in here. We got a chisel wedge in there, and this is about as good as we can get it, which is, it's fine. It's way better than it was. That's all ground down, so he's gonna go ahead and burn it in now. Burn it, baby. Burn it to the ground.
Don't tempt me.
And also, then we need to get rid of all these wires back here. That looks terrible.
We gotta get rid of all this. Let's see if this works. We're just gonna test it up here.
See if it works.
All right, she's welding good. She's down. Can't go no more.
All right, pull your wedge out.
There's that.
All right, so now he's gonna finish burning it all in. Show me your pipe there, Chris. Yep. All right, so what we did, we found some scrap metal outside.
Scrap metal.
I mean, perfectly good scrap metal, you know.
Give her a notch that side for this weld. This side has a double weld, so there's no notch on it. Over there by the panel guard.
Yeah, so that's all ready to go. So that side's welded up. We gotta weld this side here and here, and then go ahead and throw that up there kind of real quick and show them what's going on.
Real quick.
So that's
She's gonna sit in there. We can just pound it in there, and she'll fit really tight in there. We can weld it.
That's
Then
gonna
I gotta
fit.
Pop it back out.
It's gonna fit right in between there. And weld it in, and then we don't have to worry about the buckets anymore. We're doing all this now to get it drivable, but the funny thing is we'll probably just go coilovers in the next couple months, so we won't have those anymore. So that's a way to avoid that. But honestly, I like springs and bypasses, unless I can go coilovers with bypasses like the Ultra 4 car. But that's a lot to fit in there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit coilovers with bypasses, but that would be the ultimate end goal, end game. For me, I think we're going coilovers, bypasses up front. The rears, I don't know. There's so much that can be done now because Chris is like this magician with metal and parts and tools and stuff. So anyway, this is what we're doing for now, and this is a very good permanent fix. Just run a bead across here and come up and tie it into the bucket here.
Yeah. The bucket pulled down pretty good.
Yeah.
So we'll just burn that in and burn it around that.
Well, shucks, damn spit.
Give her a little coat of some paint and
Yeah, at some
call her
point.
good.
Yeah, I like the patina look. Just clear coat it. All right, just tack it in first. Give her a little tack, little tickety tack. Now this is just reinforcement, so we don't have to like, you know, you're gonna get some welds on there, but.
I'm gonna go up as high as I can and all the way down and around
Right.
across, but
Yeah,
without pulling the body, you just can't get on top.
which is fine, because it shouldn't need that, but it does. So anything extra is gonna be good enough.
Should be okay.
Good enough. Alrighty, so we will get this painted one day, sure. So there's the bar, and you can see it's that's welded over there, and therefore that's not going anywhere. And look, straight spring.
Yeah, this spring is so much happier.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of all it is. Everything's welded back up. Like I said, we'll spray it. Put the track bar back on, and yeah, this is what we're going with for now. This is what we're doing until things change. This is what we're going with. Okay, so the Jeep is finally more level. So what I had noticed earlier was there was way more shock over there than there was there, even at Easter Jeep Safari. So even at Easter Jeep Safari, before we did Pritchett, the whole time we were at Easter Jeep Safari, I noticed that this shock was way more collapsed than this one. And I kind of got in there and looked. I was like, I don't know, maybe the shock just needs a little charge. You know, they are nitrogen filled, so I thought maybe it needed a charge. And then of course Chris found out not. But now it's sitting where it's supposed to now. It was like sitting down here. Just be careful, I guess, check your stuff. It's good that it's back together. But we're gonna go through it some more and find out what else we need to do. In the meantime,
We've got a hydraulic version sitting over there. So like, take that.
Thank you, Woody.
Talking.
Thank you, Woody.
Welcome.
Appreciate
anytime.
you letting us use my headquarters here
That's what the shop's
again.
for.
I know, we gotta get a lift. We're gonna
It's
get a
here
lift.
for your broken stuff.
Yeah, I know. Always. It's like every other week. Every time we're in a hurricane, I'm like, hey, Woody, is your lift open? He's like, if you get it off the same day, maybe.
Yeah. Well, there's rules.
Yeah.
Where
there
did
is.
you leave the keys? Actually, well, the bomber
The
stayed
bomber.
here for
So the funny thing was, the bomber was here for like a week, and he watched our King of the Hammers video, and he literally put the projector on top of the bomber and projected it up on the projector screen and watched.
right there above the
He could
lights.
watch King of the Hammers sitting in the driver's
It's
seat
kind
of
of
the
badass. Like,
bomber.
it's like, really be it there.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, so that's what we've got done to the Jeep right now. So I think our plan right now is to go ahead and order a rebuild kit for the transfer case. We're not quite sure why it's flashing and the trans is flashing. There's doing different things. I'm assuming the trans is hooked to the transfer case as far as sensors and stuff goes. I don't know. But right now, she's down. She's kind of down and out. We're waiting on some other parts. Like I said, we're going to order that transfer case rebuild kit, get that in there, and then go drive it and see if it's still doing that. While we have the T case out, of course, we'll check the wiring and we'll show you all that. So we're going to start diving into the stepchild a little bit, seeing what else is wrong. Really glad Chris found the rear coil spring buckets that were ripped, because that could have been... You imagine what would happen if you're out on a trail and that bucket literally rips off the frame and your spring comes out? That's it. The rear of the Jeep just is going to collapse the shock, sit down, and you have no springs. So that was a crisis avoided. That could have been really bad. So I actually almost have to thank the transmission and transfer case for messing up, because it kept me from actually wheeling it really hard over the past like month or two. So yeah, there's that. We're just going to continue on fixing everything, going through everything. All the vehicles need some help, and I'm glad we have Chris here for that. So sorry Brittany wasn't in this video today, guys, but thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, you can find all of your Lite Brite Nation merch at lightbritestudios.com. All of your Lite Brite Nation decals at pixeldecals.com. I always have to think about that. Anyway, so we love you. And then I messed it up. We love you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
So we discovered Jelly has a new obsession. All right, Kev, go. Wear out both the dog and the child at the same time. Layla, let me see the football. Run, run, run. Wrong direction. Come here. There you go.